Okay, welcome back everyone. I'm going to get right into the market, into the charts. We're going to look for trade ideas, trade setups, and basically go off what the charts are telling us. So let's dive right into it. If you guys are finding value, please drop me a thumbs up. It does help the channel. I'll continue to put in the effort looking for trade setups. Again, I don't get all the trades right, so we need to manage our risk. It's important to do so. We need to know when we're wrong and take correct position sizing, take trades with good risk-reward ratios. These are all all taught in my technical analysis course. So if you're interested in that, check it out. Link in the description below. And then again, if you're interested in the private member group, I am communicating a lot more frequently in there, especially more recently. And so if you're interested in the private member group, getting additional trade ideas, trade setups, join up on that. Link in the description below on that one. Okay. Triple Qs. I'm going to just run through everything I'm seeing this morning across a multitude of charts. And then we'll just go ahead and leave it at that. So triple Qs right now on the daily chart and really the hourly, I've got some support right here. You can see we broke out and we're kind of just sitting on that support right now, just bouncing off of that. So again, we need to see that either break down, and if you do see that give way and we break that support, then we're going to signal that this breakout here was a false breakout. I am leaning that way. Given the nature of the breakout that we've seen, very timid breakout on pretty low volume, not very impulsive. So I am leaning the way that we're going to break down and signal this is a false breakout. But we need to see it before we can actually say that's exactly what it is. So, and then if we do get that breakdown, we're probably going to head down to the major support level on the daily chart. This is the trend line that's been in place all year since beginning of 2023. Support. There's another reaction. That's kind of one. So I think we head down there. And then ultimately you need to break that for the larger sell signal, for a larger term trend line. So if you're bullish, you could buy at support down here. And then otherwise, if you're bearish, you'd want to wait for a break of that support to signal an entry on a short trade. So that's what I see on the triple Qs. Looking at the Nasdaq futures, very similar here on the daily chart. We've got support, kind of a breakout. But you see how it's not very impulsive. It's a really timid breakout. Today, trading down to that support. But still, we're just kind of hanging out in that area just above support. I am thinking it's a false breakout, but we, again, just need to see it. So, and one reason I'm looking for that false breakout, big negative divergence on the daily chart. This has been building for a while. So these were divergent highs. Right there at least was a divergent high. And we are trending lower, all right? We are actually making lower highs and lower lows in the near term. Really since about mid-July, we've been trending lower. So we'll watch for that breakdown to see if we can trigger that false breakdown. Right now, if I look at the futures, kind of clean this up, it's somewhere right around the 15,400-ish level, 15,400-ish level. Break of that would signal that false breakdown. Okay, and then any tech analysis isn't really complete without Apple analysis, just because Apple is the largest component. It's the largest stock in the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq, of course. So on Apple, this is the daily chart. You've got a big bearish rising wedge. You've got big negative divergence signaling a breakdown. You did get the breakdown, and we did hit the measured target. All right, the measured target, if you're anybody that's new, you take the widest part of the wedge. All right, so the widest part of the wedge, I really have about right there. All right, and then you take it at the point of the breakdown, and that gives you your measured target. And for all purposes, we pretty much hit that major target when we dropped all the way down to 17 or 170, 150-ish. So that has been hit. So that could be all there is for the drop. We did rally up to fill this gap. Gaps are like magnets in charts. So there's the rally up. Didn't quite fill it. You can see the seller stepped in a little bit early before they filled the gap. And today we're seeing a break back below the gap entry. Both of these levels matter. There's gap entry, there's gap fill. All right, the seller stepped in early, and we're seeing a pretty impulsive breakdown. Apple down almost 3%. You've got some potential support right here with this little uptrend, so we'll see if that can hold. But If you break that, then yeah, that should signal the next leg lower. And you're probably in Apple, if we see a break of this little uptrend line, you're probably going to run down all the way down to the 200-day moving average. Okay, I'm leaning that way, but a few things need to kind of shape up. And then like Google's interesting. Google, bearish rising wedge here, negative divergence. This looks like a good short setup. Now, two ways to play a short setup that looks like this. You can short at resistance, would be the top of the wedge. All right, that's one potential. Or you short a break of the bottom of the wedge, which is support. All right, that's a sell signal if you break, or if you want to take, an entry at the top. At the top of the wedge, you have higher risk. Sometimes they like to run it up, then spike it down. So that's higher risk up there, but potential for more reward, of course. So that's that one. Good setup for sure. And NVIDIA, the rest of the fangs aren't really doing much, kind of going sideways. NVIDIA selling off this morning, but no real technical change. Potential support on this little uptrend line right here where the buyers might step in. I just don't see enough here to give me any kind of technical change on NVIDIA, so we'll continue to just kind of watch that. And then SOXX is another tell. This is a semiconductor ETF, which NVIDIA makes up a large part of that. Bigger picture for me, kind of waiting for this breakdown of this daily chart. So this is going back to October 2022 on the daily. You can see support. There's another reaction there. There's some reactions right through here. So I need to see that break. A nice impulsive breakdown of that would signal a larger term trend change. Right now, we don't have anything to really go off of. So we'll just watch it. I do think it's coming because we do have negative divergence on the daily, but that doesn't mean we can't continue to build that divergence. We could go on and make a new high, put in another divergent high. All that's completely possible, and that's why I don't just short just because I have negative divergence. What I need to see is that sell signal. I have a setup for it. The conditions are there for the sell signal to show up, and the sell signal just needs to show up before we take a position on it. Okay, I'll just go into some individual trade ideas, trade setups. We'll look at some stuff. It's kind of interesting. DraftKings, again, another kind of tech stock. I still like it short. Bigger picture, big bearish rising wedge, negative divergence. All the conditions are there for a breakdown, and you did get the sell signal and breakdown really right in there. Okay, all right, back test. And you also created this island cluster top. This is an island cluster top where you gap up. We gapped up, traded up there for a couple weeks, and then gapped down, trapping this money. And the island cluster top has not been negated. Now we've traded up into the top of the island, but this is where resistance is at, because a lot of the people that bought right in here, as the price approaches right that level, they're starting to get their money back in general, or getting close to break even, and they say, you know what, I was wrong, I was down, I'm going to get out of the trade and sell it. So there's supply up here. There's a wave of sellers. So this is resistance right there. It's about 30.60, and we are still holding that resistance. Nothing has changed. So it's objective to short right here. We could go a little higher, but in general, I think we're probably going to hold this, and then down we go. All right, and then I've got a lot of targets on the downside for this one. Final target for this trade, I believe, is about 1720-ish, 1725, all the way down here. That's the widest part of this wedge, and that would be your measured target. All right, so I've got it kind of marked out by this red line. So I like that still. Pulte Homes. The home builders look like they are selling off and starting a downtrend. It takes time. Things don't just play it all in one day, but you have a clean, strong uptrend in PHM. As that trend got long in the tooth, it started to show with negative divergence, indicating that the trend was likely coming to an end in the near future. And we were waiting for a sell signal, and that's a sell signal. Big impulsive breakdown, break of trend, strong selling. That's a sell signal. And then obviously from that trend, you hit the first level of support, bounce for a back test, rejection. Yesterday we got a big rejection, bringing that back down to support. All right, so you can see yesterday, and I took some profit yesterday looking to recycle back in on the bounce, which I've started to do so this morning. But you can see yesterday selling down, back down to that support right there. Makes sense to take profit at support. Little bounce, re-adding back to my short this morning. And now I'm looking for that break of this next support level, which is about 77.36. You get the break of that. I believe it's probably going to be a relatively swift move down to about 65.30. So I like that as a trade idea. Tesla. On Tesla, you know, we're really just holding the support line. You can see this is coming off January 2023. So this is the uptrend in Tesla all year long. Support, support, support. Broke it here, it's getting kind of messy, but we're still holding that support line. Not a definitive break or rejection yet. So for me, I don't have much of a trade idea on this one. I think it probably is going to break the trend, but you need to see some sort of impulsive breakdown. We don't have that yet. So it could hold and bounce up to resistance. Resistance is way up here. This is your daily chart coming off kind of the all-time highs. There's another reaction there. And so, yeah, we could bounce up there and hit that resistance line again. I don't know which way it's going to go. So for me, this is a no touch for right now. Newmont Mining, the largest gold miner, does look interesting. On this one, on the daily chart, we do have a bullish falling wedge. Nice big bullish falling wedge. We're trading down near the support level. Not quite there, but very close. We have bullish divergence, and it's confirmed. When I say confirmed, the PPO has made a bullish crossover right here to help confirm that divergence. And so we have a bullish setup for sure. And again, just like a bearish rising wedge, the two ways to trade it is you can take positions at support, okay, or breaks of resistance, all right? Resistance is the top part of this wedge. So that's it on that one. Good bullish setup for sure. And just going back to the interest rates, again, right now I think it's really critical. This is probably one of the most important charts to look at, which is the 10-year Treasury interest rates. A lot of credit instruments are built off of this rate. You can see on the daily chart, going back to COVID, we're still holding bullish trend, all right? Let me zoom in, all right? There's another reaction. There's another reaction. Holding bullish trend, bouncing up near the highs. Now the highs, this is October of 2022 on the daily chart, all right? And keep that date in mind. That's very important. Recently, we just hit it, got a rejection, but we're bouncing back towards there. We break those recent highs, I think the market's going to start to freak out. Those highs, October of 2022, if I go back to the S&P 500, you'll see that the S&P 500 was basically at the depths of its lows back during October of 2022, down here. All right, so rates and the market are mispriced. Something is not priced correctly. Okay, so we're either going to see a reduction in rates as rates come down, which is completely possible, or we're going to see the market come down. Or we'll see both. But in general, as of right now, I think there's opportunity in some price movement across one of those. So I guess if I had to guess, I believe we're going to spike these highs in the interest rates. The market's going to freak out and start to drop. Money will flow out of the market and flow into bonds. People will look for safety plays, buying bonds, and then you'll see the interest rate start to drop as people rush into bonds. All right, if I had to guess, that's what's going to happen. Again, just a guess. We'll use the charts to be our guide. Natural gas, this is the NG futures. We're at support. All right, we're kind of just been grinding higher, building bullish divergence. We've had that for a while. You can see support, 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 back down there again. So that's support until that's broken. And then, resistance is up here at about $3. So support, resistance, something's got to give. All right, that's what we got to look at. And while we're looking at commodities, let's go ahead and look at the wheat trade. I like this trade. I think it's at a very critical, good level of support on this one. So I'm bullish on this. This one, you've got bullish divergence, big bullish divergence, been building for a long time. And all right, so you can see momentum's moving up, bullish falling wedge, breakout, back test, hit the 200, back test again, back test right here. And down here, as we've dropped down, you can see we've hit this support line here. We're hitting that. And then we're also hitting horizontal support. If I roll out, you can see pretty solid support right about here, which is about the $6 range. Nice solid support. There's another reaction there. So strong support, dual support in this area. And we dropped down recently, and I have to kind of clean it up, but you'll see here, We dropped down just yesterday, actually, it looks like, and made a new low below this low right here, which is a divergent low. Price making a slightly lower low, just a marginal new lower low in price, while momentum continues to hold bullish divergence. Okay, so to me, it doesn't get any better in terms of a buy zone. All right, it doesn't mean it's going to work. This trade might not work, and maybe they'll just sell this thing down, but it's at strong support right here in this level. And so if we bounce off this level, I see us going all the way up to about $8 for the next level of resistance. We'll probably get some, we'll get a minor reaction to 200 probably, but ultimately probably run up to that $8 before you see any kind of real resistance. All right. And we'll flip over to the wheat futures just to help confirm, because again, if you're looking at commodities, you do want to look at the futures as well. Those are really important. On this one, you can see ZW, good support about 592, and you can see basically support, just hit it yesterday. We're at support, all right? And then again, we have bullish divergence that's been building. It's very similar. It's kind of the same chart where it just shows that we're also at major support in the wheat futures. So that's it. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's a strong 10 as a buy zone, but there's, again, no guarantees it's ever going to work. It's just a probability game. The probability is definitely, to go long, you have good probability the trade's going to work out. And JPMorgan, we're continuing to watch for this, looking for this to continue to sell off. Big bearish rising wedge. Break of trend there. We've got some support right about 143.80. You can see several reactions there. We're coming down into that now, so maybe there'll be some buyers here. A break of that level would be your next sell signal. So at this point, back tests of resistance or breaks of support are your opportunities to add or initiate shorts. So you could backtest, all right? That's objective to short there. Or if you break support here at that 140, it's about 143.80, then that should bring us down to the next level. Okay, next level of support's about 138. You have the 200, but yeah, some support down there. But ultimately, the target is about 123.86. All right, guys. For now, that's all I've got. So I'm going to get the video out, and we'll just follow up later on. So thanks, guys. Check it out. Check out the technical analysis course if interested, or the private member group. Link in the description below. Catch you guys on the next one. Bye.